guys, super excited to have you back here where we begin to frame out the habit-all lifestyle. Now, up until this point, we've talked about what does it take, how do you get to that point, how you have to visualize things, how you have to measure certain areas of your life to know where you're starting, how you have to really begin to develop a strong why. I believe it was Simon Sinek that talked a lot about that in business, but it also applies to your life, right? In our last segment, we also talked a lot about 6 myths that you have to overcome so that you really can begin to have it all, right? So in this segment, we're gonna frame it out and really bring it all together. Bring it all together, my friends, right? We've talked about several books today, but one piece that I really wanna talk about, which is called goal setting to the now, right? Goal setting to the now is a great concept. So what does that mean, goal setting to the now? Understand this, most of us, we set someday goals. Think about someday. Someday, man, I'm going to do this. Someday, I'm going to be XYZ. Someday, I'm going back to school. Someday, I'll have this kind of bank account. And the problem is, we have no connection to that someday. So usually for most people, someday never comes, right? Someday never comes. Now, how do you begin to do this? Well, this is what we like to call reverse engineering your life, right? So you go from your someday goal, someday I'm going to do this. And you begin to back it down and say, okay, well, wait a minute. If someday I'm going to do this, then in 5 years, I need to be here. If someday I'm going to do that, right? Now, you go from there to say, okay, well, if I'm going to do this in 5 years, then that means within a year, I probably need to be right here. Right? Think about that. Probably need to be right here, right? And go from there to say, okay, well, if in a year I need to be right here, that means this month, in order for me to reach that yearly goal, I need to be right here, which means this week I need to probably be here, which means today I need to do this on my to-do list, which means right now, even to the minute, I need to be doing this, right? So look what we've just done. We take your someday goal, and we tie it all the way back to what you're doing today on your daily to-do list, daily activities, branching it out. Now, we're not talking about filling your whole day, my friends, either with this. We're saying you've planned it out in such a way that whatever piece you have to do today, it's tying back to your someday goal, right? So that everything begins to lock in place and you're moving toward that goal. This makes us extremely excited and happy because we're actually pursuing something and we're seeing the results. Even though we don't have the goal yet, the simple fact that we're putting in the work and we know that what I'm doing right now in this moment is tying to my someday goal helps us out. It helps us be ultimately successful, right? So I want to ask you a question. What is your someday goal? What's your someday goal? I want you to think about that. And here's what I need you to do. Ask a couple questions. I have a couple questions on my computer I want you to think about. Why is this goal important to you? Why? The next question is, what will accomplishing the goal do for your life? What will it do? Last but not least, what will happen if you do not accomplish this goal? Right? By asking those 3 questions, it can kind of help you begin to churn on that someday goal, right? So with that, I'm going to put myself under the bus right now. What's Alex's someday goal? Ooh, you ready for this one, my friends? I even know the time period. Someday, but I'm going to say at age 80, I want to be the fastest man in the world. In the 400, 200, and 100 at 80 years old. In my class division, in the 80-year-old bracket, I want to be the fastest man in the world. And not only the fastest man in the world, but the fastest man in the world in 3 events. It's never been done. Fastest man in the world in the 400, 200, and 100, right? So that's my someday goal. So why is this goal important to me? Well, it's important to me for a few reasons. One, it's never been done. So I would love to do something as I age gracefully, but still be in great shape. Also, I want to let my grandkids see granddad compete. In my mind, I visualize them seeing granddad in the master track event, right? Running to break the world record in those events. Man, to me, that gets me excited to say, man, my grandkids can see an 80-year-old dude kicking ass and taking names, right? So it helps me out with that right there. And for example, what happens if I do not accomplish it? Well, to me, if I don't accomplish it, man, it will be disheartening for me. I'll be honest with you, right? Because I've even started my training right now. Next year, I'm joining the masters in the 40 plus division. So I can start training and start actually seeing what I got, right? Start competing a little bit here so I get better with it. So understand, that's my someday goal. So I'm even saying, hey, this is my someday at 80 goal. So it means that, hey, listen, I need to do this in 5 years, this in 1 year, this in a month, breaking it all the way down to my workouts and those type things, right? I'm actually looking to go and try to meet the guy who actually currently holds the world record in 2 of the events. He is a phenomenal guy, 71, who holds the record in the 400 as well as the 200, and he's currently training for the 100. I need to see this dude's training regimen so one day I could beat his records, right? But that's the someday goal that pushes us and drives us, right? So by doing that, it helps you out. Now, once you become clear of your someday goal, help you frame this thing out, you need to time block. Time block, when are you going to get it done, right? And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about the work that it takes in between to get to the someday goal. Because most people have this someday goal floating out there. They've never tied it back to today, as well as they never set time aside to actually do the freaking work, right? So what do you have to do? Well, once you tie it back, once you begin to think about the principles of what it takes to get there, you have to block time in your schedule, in your day, in your week, in your month to say, I'm going to get it done during these times so that you can ultimately be successful. When you can begin to do that, you can begin to see progress towards your someday goal. And similar to dominoes, as I said in our last segment, when you begin to see momentum, when you begin to see progress, my friends, it's hard to stop. Progress like that works on both sides, right? Momentum, right? You see it in sports. You can tell the team that's going to win, man, most times, because you can tell when momentum picks up on a team, you're like, oh boy, unless something just crazy happens, it's going to be very, very difficult to stop, right? So that's how it is with you with those goals. If you can begin to implement that kind of stuff, it helps you a ton with it. Now, how do you hold all of this together? Well, you hold it all together with this little thing called accountability. Accountability. And what's accountability? Well, number one, it's you holding yourself accountable. But to take it a step further, it's you actually, number one, writing it down. Most people say, yeah, man, I know what I'm going to do. I'm doing it right here. No. I have a journal. I don't have it in the office with me right now. It's upstairs in my upstairs office. But I have a journal that has all of my life goals in it. And when I think of another, I write it. Ooh, I want to do this. Oh, yeah, I would love to have that. Boom, right? Now, understand this. Harvard did a study and they showed this, that individuals with written goals are 40% more likely to succeed. So understand that. You have a 40% greater chance of getting it simply by writing it down on paper. Simply because you wrote it down, you have a 40% chance of doing that thing, right? Now, here's the crazy part about it. A 40% chance that you're more likely to succeed, right, than the other person. Now, here's the crazy part. Individuals with written goals and weekly accountability are 80% more likely to succeed. So think about that. Simply by writing it down, telling someone else about it, letting them hold you accountable, you are 80% more likely to actually get shit done, my friends, right? So if you can begin to apply those things, it helps a ton for you, all right? Now, as we talk about closing this segment, I need you to think about a couple things for me. There's one book. It's a long book, but man, it's a good book, but it is long, I'll be honest, my friends. It's called Solve for Happiness. Right? How to solve, like solving a math problem for happiness. Now, the biggest thing I got out of this book, I'm going to give you the cliff notes on it. The biggest thing that I got out of this book was this, that each and every one of us, and this is important as you go on your journey and as you get momentum going towards your goal, each and every one of us has what we like to call a glass ceiling of how much success we think we can handle. All of us have a glass ceiling of how much success we think we can handle. Now, here's the crazy part about life. The closer we get to that ceiling, right? The closer we get to that ceiling, the more we begin to self-sabotage ourselves to knock ourselves back down. So have you ever heard those statements by people? Oh man, life is it's just too good to be true right now. Man, things are going so well, I know something bad's going to happen soon. Wow, why? Why does something bad have to happen? right? It's called self-sabotage, right? So understand, what we have to do though is we have to get comfortable winning and comfortable being successful and comfortable having to have it all lifestyle and actually expect to do it so that you begin to not only get close to that ceiling, but you continually begin to raise your ceiling for what you expect. You begin to expect more out of yourself, more out of life. And as you begin to do that, holding yourself accountable with your written goals, you'll begin to see momentum shift in your favor in an unbelievable way, my friend, right? So with that being said, I want you to tune in to our first segment, The Takeoff. Analyze your life where you are. Look at that, the wheel of life, and begin to be brutally honest with yourself, but don't beat yourself up. From there, I want you to think about what is it that you want. Write that vision very, very clear. Come up with a strong why to keep you connected to that vision. Be willing to hold yourself accountable by writing it down as well as telling others so that they can hold you accountable. And be willing to accept the concept that you can continually grow and continually have success, and bad things don't have to happen in your life. If you can begin to do that, my friend, you can truly begin to have what we like to call the habit of life. So I want to personally thank you for tuning in to No Bullshit with Alex Willis, the #1 go-to source for leadership development in the construction industry. Be sure to subscribe to YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so that you can be notified when we drop that next episode. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And hey, please understand, we're here for you, my friends. We are here to make you phenomenal leaders. We want the best for you. So please leave your comments, leave your concerns, leave your challenges, because we want to answer those so that we can truly help you be phenomenal both at work as well as at home. So until next time, see you later, my friends.